doing the dreams under pressure. Peachy be the one to bless ya, but don't test her. The queen reigns supreme, you know what I mean? Add the boy Breezie, Prince, like a king. When the two come together in any weather, they form a bond, stay tight in any measure. So it's my pleasure, the number one team. Let the world know what's your fantasy. What's your fantasy? What? Hey, what's your fantasy? What's going on, everybody? It's Wayne Breezie. Peachy's in the building. We're here. This is our third episode of What's Your Fantasy? Peachy, what's going on? And then I want you to tell everybody what this show is all about for the new subscribers out there.
So, first of all, thank you for everyone who's tuned into us. If you would do us a favor and kind of share and get the word out. Because anytime you have something new, you guys know how it is. It takes a while to catch on. But we would like to be your one-stop shop for fantasy. So we really appreciate it if you guys would get the word out for us. Let everybody know what we got going on over here. It's just a chilled, laid-back, relaxed way to talk about fantasy football. It really is. This show right here is about just, even if you have never played fantasy, then we can show you exactly how to play fantasy, which is what our first episode was, is kind of an introduction to fantasy football. Also, there's so many different leagues going on right now. It's craziness. I think me and Breezie might be in maybe 50.
A piece.
Yeah. But so this show just kind of gives you some pointers on who to choose or different scenarios and things like that, especially tonight's show, Sleeper. It's really going to be good because I tell you what, if you can get a hold to one of those fantasy sleepers, it is it can provide gold where you just don't think that it's at. So it's definitely great to have, to pay attention to the fantasy sleepers. And what that means is that is players that you wouldn't normally choose as your top fantasy players, but players that could do something special for your fantasy league. It can also be players that didn't perform very well last year, but due to circumstances with their team, they are now, projected to perform better. So that's what we're going with right there. We think that we can bring you guys just a different spin on fantasy and just, have some fun, relax, hang out a little bit. And so hopefully you guys will love the show and get the word out to everybody so they know that we have this show going on. So,
bam!
Appreciate it.
After I asked her to give you a description, she gave you a dissertation. And listen, that's what it is, man. This is a laid-back, chilled, relaxed fantasy football show. We're looking to do a lot more live interaction with you guys. Shout out to the Breezy Bunch crew. They are in the building. I got to give the super shout-out right now to my man, Mike and Kim, Travel Buzz. Listen, 7 months. 7 months they've been members of the Wayne Breezie channel. I truly appreciate you guys over there. Nice. Shout out to all the other members in there. Mike, you got your star back, baby. I knew something was weird earlier, man. Your star is officially back. Jax is in the building. Hey, Wayne and Peach, have a great show. Niner Cali Boy in the building. Niner Cali Boy, did you get any emails, DMs, or something like that? Because I definitely showcased the beautiful towel set. You know what I'm saying? I want to make sure they taking care of you out there. You know what I mean? So make sure that, you guys take care of them. This is funny, right? So listen, we did the draft last night, right? It was, it was the longest draft that I've been a part in all my drafts so far. Like, it was just long, couple of pauses, had to wait for some people to come in. You can say he's about to whoop up on Crocker and me. He's gonna beat both of us. It's gonna be fun though. We did speaking of Sleeper, we used Sleeper to do our draft last night. And it's gonna be It's going to be an interesting ride. I wish I knew who was on my team. The draft was so long, I don't even know who I drafted. I can't even tell you who's on my team, but I'll get that pulled up. Coach Cruz is in the building. What's going on, Coach Cruz? Now, cool thing is, on this episode, we want you guys to give us a sleeper. Not right now, but we're going to go through our list of sleepers. We have our top 10 sleepers, and then if you don't see a person on our list, that's when we're going to interact with you guys out there on the live show. We're going to ask you to give us a sleeper, and we'll give you our takes on that particular player, possibly where you should draft that player and things or whatnot. Now, again, there are different types of leagues out there, and we talked about that early on. You got to go back and watch the first episode. PPR, we're kind of basing our stuff off of PPR, full PPR, and half PPR, depending on the rules. You know what was weird last night, Peachy? There was no kicker and no defense. That's what made the draft longer.
Yeah.
Because now you got to figure out, oh snap! Like how do I get these players? What's going on, Derek's? We need more running backs and wide receivers. So you had to really know what you were doing. You had to know what you were doing. So that's what made the draft a lot longer, because no one reached up to grab a kicker to where the app be like, what the? You know what I'm saying? So It was fun. Yeah, it was fun. But yeah, Peachy, man, look, it's drafting season. And I got a couple of more drafts I still got to do. And I'm hoping lately I've been drafting 7 and 8, Peachy. What's up with that? Like, what, the gods don't like me anymore or something like that?
It's mine have been all over the place from number 2 to number 11.
2 to 11. Damn, you what, 12 team league, you was 11?
Mm-hmm.
Ouch.
Yeah. And it wasn't Snake either.
Oh no.
Yeah. So I'm just glad that it's free. It's just for bragging rights, because I would have been cursing for real.
Ooh. Ouch. Now listen, a lot of 49er fans are tuned in. They play fantasy football. I'm not going to lie. Don't mind playing against 49er fans that don't know how to play fantasy football, because they draft all the 49ers, and I'm good with that, because I know that at least every time I play them that week, it's a dub. Like, it's straight up dub.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Any injuries, any news things going on, any players returning, the final 53s, well, according to John Lynch from the San Francisco 49ers, it's not a final 53, but the current final 53 is officially out. For some of these teams out there, I do want to talk about one particular player, Jonathan Taylor, and he is on the PUP. So he's on the physically unable to perform list. All right. And so what does that mean, Peachy? He's going to be missing for the first 4 weeks.
Yes.
Would you still draft JT as a top running back? Because he's a top 10 running back. But would you still draft him in the second round going, because I ended up having to do that. I was looking at the running backs.
If you can stash him, yeah, but I'm still not quite sure he's going to play for the Colts, because you got to remember that the trade deadline is like in October or something like that. So a trade can still happen. And I just have a feeling that he's still going to be on another team eventually.
So you're saying that he may never play the first 8 weeks. Oh, damn. So is that what you're alluding to? Because that's tough. That's tough for me. Hopefully I was. So once I drafted JT, because I think I got him in the 3rd or 4th round. I can't remember which round he was still on the board. Once I drafted him, though, I knew he was going to be in the PUP for the first 4 weeks. He may play for the Colts. We don't know. We'll see what happens.
Maybe.
They might, Yeah. But if he does get traded, and he doesn't get traded, they'll have up to week 8. I don't see him sitting out the whole season. But I had to make sure in my mind, if you draft Jonathan Taylor, you better on your next pick get another running back that can service, because you're already out 4 weeks. Now PG's talking about possibly 8 weeks. Ugh.
Yeah.
JT, this will be the second year you've effed me, JT.
It's crazy. Okay, so I do have the fantasy injury update for you right here. It actually just came out today, so that was good for me that came out. Joe Burrow was actually back out there at practice. And you
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. You have no idea. Look, there was a run on quarterbacks early last night, Peachy, and I was like, yo, Joe is still there, but I think they think he's injured. And I knew from watching this show that Joe Burrow was going to be locked and loaded. Because here's the thing, right? This is what I don't get, Peachy. So help me figure this out, right? You draft Jamar Chase 1 or 2 or 3. But you leave Joe Burrow just chilling. Who the f*** is going to throw him the motherfucking ball? I like how I edit myself. Hold on. I had to give myself 2 of the beeps. But you get what I'm saying?
Yeah. Absolutely. Understand that. So that's good news for Joe Burrow. So we do expect him to play week 1 without major impact. But as you know, when you're injured like that, it can get re-injured, which would suck really bad. So we're just gonna hope that he is. I have Burrow in about 5 of my leagues. So because I think that Burrow's I think as long as he's out there, it's gonna be money. Then the next one we have is Cooper Kupp. It looks like that he's getting better and better. So Kupp is fine. Terry McLaurin, on the other hand, is expected to return to full strength by about week 4.
Week 4?
So when you see that, it's probably going to be week 4 or week 5. So
but did they put him on the PUP?
No. Because what I'm saying is they're leaning towards him playing week 1, but he's not going to be at full strength to be able to do everything that he does until week 4. So fantasy wise, be careful putting him in there, which is why I brought that up. Next would actually be his Ohio State buddy, Jackson Smith in Jigba, which is next. It says that he is probably going to be about week 3 for him to
start. The hamstring issue, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
No,
funny because
the wrist
and injury. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's fine.
It's
There's
funny.
a lot of different ones. Yeah, I got you.
Okay.
Then we have Kyler Murray, who they're not expecting him to play at all this year.
Period.
So, but there are people that have keeper leagues that are drafting Murray and stashing him because he's expected to be back full strength 2024. Now, here's a caveat to that I want to bring out. You can go ahead and take Kyler Murray. Don't know whether he's going to be playing for the Cardinals or not.
But that's the thing, like, because now we're getting into football. So, like, there's no one in the world, and I mean in the world, that's willing to take on that contract. So I don't see how he'll be traded. I do see him possibly not wanting to play for the Cardinals because they're going to be a crapper hole or whatever or whatnot. They're currently rebuilding and they're I don't want to say tanking, but they're tanking.
They're looking for Caleb Williams.
They're looking for Caleb Williams. All right, so there we go. Like, yeah, like that's exactly what I was gonna say. Who, if you are able to get next year in the fantasy football draft, you're gonna want to pick that kid up.
Yes, he is a monster and looking great this year at USC. Now he is debating not coming out, but they say that, and then the pressure is like, yeah, you gotta, whatever. So, Treylon Burks is next.
Tennessee Titans, baby.
For Tennessee, and it says that he should be on track to play week 1. However, just like with some of the earlier ones, don't expect him at full strength until week 3. So
yeah, I mean,
we'll see.
If they're
you just never know.
If they're in the starting lineup, you'd be silly not to start them. Because they only need 1 or 2 plays to go off and get you points. So I don't think they'll throw Terry McLaurin out there and not utilize him. But, I mean, he's not going to probably get all the touches. But he might be dynamic with the limited amount of touches he gets. So I wouldn't be as leery to start. Because if he's suited up and ready to play week 1, he's a wide receiver 1. You don't bench him, in my opinion. Unless you got studded wide receiver ones. Like unless you,
Right.
yeah, like you know what I'm saying. So like if you're loaded at that position, then okay, yeah, you could give him a couple of weeks.
Right.
But if you drafted different positions over the wide receivers, 'cause wide receivers go first. That's kind of like how it is. But if you got your running backs, because you're old school and traditional, then that means you got kind of like tier 2 wide receivers. So you might have to start them.
Gotcha. Then we have Brees Hall, which is
I didn't know
running
he was
back for
injured.
the Jets.
Oh yes, I did. He got
Yeah,
injured last year. Tore his
he's
ACL.
actually doing really like a lot better than they expected him to do. It is debatable if he's gonna ramp up for week 1, which is why they signed Dalvin Cook. So we'll
Who's
see how
going
Brees
6th,
Hall
7th,
goes.
8th round in these drafts.
Yes.
It's like he's the unforgotten. Suckers, you leave him on there if you want to.
Right.
I will pick up Dalvin Cook in a flash.
Exactly. And then we just have 2 more. Number 9, Javonte Williams, the running back from
I
Denver.
didn't know he was hurt.
He's been on his way back. Do keep in mind that the first 6 weeks are associated with an increase in the minor injury rate. So you just gotta be wary of him. He's not expected to be full strength until like half of the season's gone. So, but Denver's running back situation, I just want to talk about this for like 2 seconds, is crazy. Like I don't even know if I would be wary of any of their running backs because I don't know what they're doing. I have no idea what Denver's plan is, but every time they've had so many injuries and, to the receivers, to their running backs. I mean, it's just be really careful about drafting any Denver running backs because I don't know what they got going on over there. Until it's clear anyway, and maybe you can, grab one off the waiver wire later. Then the last injury is Jalen Waddle. And it says that they expect him to be unrestricted for week 1, which means that he's good to go. So he should be fine. It shouldn't cause any dip or any cause for re-injury. Because the one thing, and then I'll wrap it up, is one thing that you have to pay attention to when you're playing fantasy, I've been talking a lot today at work, is the injuries, and not only the current injuries, but the risk to re-injure. So you have to be very, very careful about that as well. So make sure that when you're drafting that you have a backup plan. You're always going to need a backup plan because if you have a player that was out because they were hurt, then they come back and they re-injure themselves. If you don't have a backup plan, you're screwed. So make sure that when you're drafting that you keep that in mind, especially for those players that are injury prone or that are coming back off of long injuries.
Yeah, you want to be cautious about players
Yes.
with health and so, but at the end of the day, it's football, so you could be as cautious as you want. But as far as putting them in your lineup, I would say draft them. They're going to give, especially if you can get them in a round that's going to give you good value. Peachy was talking about Javonte Williams, the running back from Denver. I would still draft him, but I may go and get his his spell back in Samaje Perine because what he did in Washington last year, he took carries away and he got touchdowns, right? So I see him being in that same role in Denver, and he's not injured. So if you're looking for a guy that's going to get you touchdowns and things like that, you might want to go ahead and pick him up. You can get him later on in the rounds. There are a couple of late round running backs. I don't want to say sleepers, but if you had to do the pairing up because you're worried about the injury, let's say you go Brees Hall, try to go ahead and get Dalvin Cook a little bit later in the draft. I'm not sure why he's going later in the draft other than the fact that he joined the Jets late. But, I mean, he does have injury history as well. But I like that pairing and the one we just talked about in Denver. And there are a couple others out there where you can go ahead. What's the running back, Jamal Williams for the Saints, Kamara, right? He's not going to play for this first several weeks. Well, Jamal Williams led running backs in touchdowns last year with an astronomical number. It was like double digits but high. So you might want to look at him as well, former running back for the Detroit Lions and Green Bay Packers. So like that kid, he's not getting drafted high. So those are a couple. I won't say they're sleepers. They could be sleepers, but I would sit there and say, hey man, those are some guys that are going to get touches due to the starting running backs not being there. So you might want to go ahead and scoop them up, get as much as you can out of them, or whatnot. So I just wanted to add that. Is that it with the injuries?
Yes, that's all the injuries so far.
All right. Let's go through our top 10 sleepers. I know everybody's tuned in for that top 10 fantasy football players, the sleeper edition. All right.
And put your and thank you to everybody who is putting your player that you think will be a fantasy sleeper this year. Just keep those coming. We got them starred, and when we're finished, we will definitely go through those because those are really good ones as well.
All right, Peachy, let's go in any particular order. You can go ahead and put them in the order that you want. So let's start with number 10. As far as the top 10 player, who do you have as number 10? You can say the name. I'll pull up the graphic.
Okay, gotcha. So let's start with the quarterback that I feel like that a lot of people are sleeping on, and that is the New Orleans Saints' new quarterback, Derek Carr.
All right. So he's our number 10 sleeper. Look, he fantasy wise, he's one of the late tier quarterbacks to kind of go in that last tier.
Yep.
But he's on a different team this year with different wide receivers. Now I know he was throwing to Devontae Adams, but now he's going to be throwing to some other star-studded wide receivers and Chris Olave. He has a pretty good, decent. He has running game, tight end. Like he's going to a different situation. He's in a new situation. So why is he your number 10, Peachy?
Well, he's just number 10 because I try to look at it like the way that I would draft, like if I was doing like a sleeper draft, and the quarterbacks would be last of all these.
Right.
Right here. So, yep. In most worlds, quarterbacks are closer to the end, but not anymore for some reason. But anyway, yeah.
So usually, Peachy, for me, like if I go and snag a QB, and let's say I want one of the top 5 QBs, right? Let's say I want one of those guys. I'll snag one early, and then I'm not looking to draft a quarterback damn near until like the 14th round. And guess who's there in the 14th round? Kurt Carr, Jimmy Garoppolo, Brock Purdy, like those guys. And so if you can get a Derek Carr late in that round, again, he's going to a team that's going to be throwing to some nice wide receivers and running backs back there. Michael Thomas, Chris Olave. They got a third guy. Look, they got a nice team. Taysom Hill is there. I like it. I'm not saying that they're going to be better than what the Raiders were, but any team's better than what the Raiders were. So I would go ahead and try to snatch him up. All right, who's not? Go ahead.
I was just going to say, not to mention that I think the Saints are going to win the NFC South this year. I really think that
I got the Falcons winning the South, but I like this. I like that. I don't want the Saints to be contenders ever for some reason. I just don't want them to. I just don't. I'd rather play. It's funny because when you play the Saints, as a 49ers fan, when you play the Saints and the Falcons, man, it's always a tough matchup. And
it is always a battle.
It's because they were former NFC West teams. Like that never, no matter where they go play, they were former NFC West teams. Peachy, who's your number 9?
Okay, and that would be quarterback Kenny Pickett.
All right, so back-to-back quarterbacks. Kenny Pickett, rookie last year. He's going into his second year.
Yes.
Pittsburgh Steelers. The 49ers see him week 1, Peachy. Let's go.
There's a lot of things that are coming out that are good about Kenny Pickett. I mean, he's got that connection, Pickett to Pickens.
The PP, the PP connection.
Right. So they have, it going on over there, and they're very, very impressed with Pickett. They actually have put Pickett in the sleeper MVP conversation. So we'll see.
Interesting.
Hopefully he won't play like an MVP against the 49ers week 1, but,
we'll see.
Hopefully not.
So the PP connection, I have to say pause, but the PP connection, it could be something dangerous. Let's hope week one
It could.
they're not connected. But
Right.
listen,
But they haven't
I,
had enough time to get in that game fire. Hope not.
it's interesting that you picked Kenny Pickett because last year he went through the fire and apparently he may come out something formed very well. I mean, he has
Yeah.
very good tutelage when it comes to the coaching. He has the skill set. He can move with the ball. He's not just a pocket guy. He's
Yes.
willing to extend the play. But I think Peachy nailed it, man. He has weapons. So Deontay Johnson, George Pickens, who was a rookie last year. Oh my God, Najee Harris out of the backfield. Look, he has some weapons and a pretty stout offensive line to keep him upright and
Yes.
healthy. That's a nice sleeper pick. No one's thinking about him. Guess who? He's there at the end of the rounds too, and rounds 14, 15. Too
Yeah.
funny. Too
Yeah.
funny.
He is, and not to mention the Steelers defense. So he's got like a great defense too. So it's gonna be oh well. Okay. So
All right. Number 8.
number 8, I have tight end Gerald Everett from the Los Angeles Chargers.
Woo! It's funny that you picked him as a sleeper, and I drafted him last night.
Nice.
As one of my picks, as my backup tight end. Why is he a sleeper to you though?
I think that he's just a sleeper because he's on another team. And when you just anytime that you go to a new team, it's just different and a lot of people overlook you. And there's a lot of people that are overlooking Everett in almost every single lineup that I've put together or I've seen or drafts, they skip him for quite a while before they pick him up. But I think Gerald Everett's going to be good this year for the Chargers.
He's not a top tier tight end. He's not a
No.
second tier, third tier, fourth tier. But fifth tier, sixth tier. If you're looking for a backup tight end to service you for 1
Exactly.
week, this is the guy.
Yes.
He stays healthy, right? And he moves the chains for his quarterback. And usually a quarterback's best friend, whether they're rookies or not, is the tight end. Him and Justin Herbert, they have a connection. That's actually a good sleeper pick. If you're looking to get I would say your second tight end. If you're in a league where you can flex 2 tight ends, you definitely want to make sure you grab a tight end that can help you put up some points. If you miss out on some of the other high flyers, he's a guy that's going to move the chains. The only issue with him is you're hoping it's a PPR league, but the only issue with him is him scoring the touchdowns.
Exactly.
And so that would be my only concern. You know what I mean? My only concern.
Yeah.
But hey, if there's no one else available and he's there, he can get you some extra points. So that's a good pick. It's a good sleeper pick. Number 7.
Okay. Number 7 is also a tight end, Jake Ferguson from the Dallas Cowboys.
Tell me a little bit about Jake. Man. Dallas seems to produce very
Right.
well tight ends. They
Right.
no longer have Schultz because they got Ferguson.
Right. Jake Ferguson is from everything I'm hearing, the connection that he has with Dak is like really good. And you got to think about something with the wide receivers they have with CeeDee Lamb and Brandon Cooks. There are going to be opportunities for Jake Ferguson to be open to get them touchdowns because too much attention is going to be paid to those 2 wide receivers. And so, but like I said, everything that I'm hearing, Ferguson is being overlooked, and Dallas, it feels like that they have this weapon that is going to be kind of used, kind of like Travis Kelce is in Kansas City. I don't know if Dak's going to hit him as much as Mahomes looks for Kelce, but he can score touchdowns, and it's going to be fun. So, and everybody is overlooking this one, like completely overlooking Ferguson. So.
Wow. Let's look at his stats from last year. 19 receptions, 174 yards, 2 tutties. He was a rookie last year. And so you're only expecting that to improve.
Exactly.
And like you said, he may be utilized more in the passing game, for the Dallas Cowboys. again, he's not like I said, when you talk about tiers, when you talk about tight ends, not going to be in your top tier.
Right.
But again, if you're looking for that second tight end, because you got to have a backup tight end. If not, if you draft a guy like Travis Kelce, you better make sure you got somebody that can give you 1 week.
Yes.
1 week. That's it. 1 week.
Yep. That's all you need is 1 week.
1 week. All right. So look, I like the Ferguson pick. I'm sure Cowboy fans would definitely give you the kudos to the Ferguson pick. And again, keep your eyes open for Jake Ferguson. Listen, number 6.
All right. At number 6, I believe we are into the running backs, and we're going to go. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Wide receivers. And let's go with Romeo Doubs from Green Bay.
Green Bay, baby. Romeo Doubs, wide receiver. Listen, Adams is gone. He's been gone for a couple of years. Going on year 2. Romeo Doubs has the opportunity to step up and do some things. Last year, he finished with 42 receptions, 425 yards, 3 touchdowns. He averaged 10.1 yards. Wow. This kid can be a problem. His long is 26, so he's more of their slot guy. They got Christian Watson as well. So Christian Watson's the 1. Romeo Doubs is looking like the 2. Lazard is gone, so his production can go up. Peachy, what made him a sleeper to you?
What made him a sleeper is I have looked at a lot of different leagues, and I don't see hardly anyone who has this guy in their lineup. If you have like a bunch of spots on your bench, you should draft this guy, because Christian Watson is going to get a lot of attention paid to him now.
Doubles.
With all these other gone. So Romeo is going to be the one that's going to be open. Jordan Love, it's give me for a second. Jordan Love, I'm told, has a really good connection with Dobbs. So it definitely, if you need an extra wide receiver just hanging around, then you should definitely draft this kid, because I think Green Bay is getting something special there. They are all on board. They're all happy. All these different things. So yeah.
I love it. My man Jedi says, I forgot about him. Let me see if he's available. Hold on though, we're not finished. There may be a couple of other wide receivers you might wanna look into. I love the general managers that are managing before the season starts. You know what I'm saying? I love it
too.
I love it 100%. Thank you, Jedi, for that comment.
Absolutely exciting.
Number 6.
Okay, at number 6 is also a wide receiver, Van Jefferson from the Los Angeles Rams.
Interesting, man. He 3 years ago, man. He was like a problem. He got the injury, and then he just never was the same. But Peachy, I'm gonna read his stats from last season. All right, 24 receptions, 369 yards, 15.4 average, 3 touchdowns. But 2021, 50 receptions, 802 yards, and this is the season you remember him from.
Yes,
16-point average, 79 was his long, 6 tutties, and he rushed for 20 yards. So I'm curious to know like why Van Jefferson is a sleeper for you, Peachy.
Okay. The reason why that he's a sleeper is because of just what you said, because he had that really good year. And then, when he got hurt, whatever, like he kind of fell off. So I think that he's back. And I think that with Cooper Kupp always getting so much attention paid to him, that he seriously can use a Van Jefferson to kind of take the edge off of that. So I'm looking for Van Jefferson to have more of a year like he had in 2021. If not even better than that. So again,
who are their receivers? You look at their depth chart. It's Van Jefferson. Cooper Kupp is going to be the 1.
Of course.
Van should be number 2. They got another young kid that I like. They got Skowronek too.
Yes.
They got that little small kid, that like little small guy that can line up in the backfield. Then they got Skowronek. So look, the Rams still have, or the Lambs, they still got some talent out there.
They do.
And Coach McVay is like, make sure y'all tune in because y'all think we gonna suck. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But I like the Van Jefferson as a sleeper. I think a lot of people forgot about him.
Yes.
But it's that injury. That injury did him dirty.
Exactly.
And then, it is what it is. All right, number 4.
Okay. At number 4 is also a wide receiver, and it's Nico Collins from
Michigan.
Houston, Texas.
Freak Houston Texan. He went to the University of the Michigan. You got to talk about your Ohio State players on a couple minutes ago. I'm going to talk about my one Michigan player. But wide receiver, Houston Texans. I like this kid. And, with a young quarterback, I think he's going to be fun. Like, he's a sure pass catcher. They got other wide receivers there as well. I'm excited to see what he's going to be able to do with the Houston Texans. He's going into his 3rd year. Last year, 37 receptions, 481 yards, 13 average. Long was a 58, 2 TDs. All right. And so his numbers kind of gradually went up from his rookie year. But he's kind of like their steady guy. Like, you know what I'm saying? He's kind of putting up like Jawan Jennings type of numbers.
Yes.
But I think his role will increase this year.
Yeah. So who's his quarterback?
I don't know. I think he went to some school.
Because isn't that funny?
We went to a school where we bust his ass twice.
Right. Since the new.
It's okay. It doesn't matter.
But that's fine.
But we beat him twice.
Just because the new head coach. But anyway, all right.
Oh, yeah. I get what you're saying. Okay, I thought you was taking a shot at me, but nah, it's definitely. Let me look you into your eye and tell you this. It's no, I ain't laughing. It's definitely because of the new head coach. I'm gonna tell you right now. I can name all of your coaches that Michigan just could not beat. Like it was tough. It was tough, but yeah, it is what it is. Good player, great player.
So what is crazy about that is they are super tight, and it's so hilarious. But according to what I'm hearing, like they'll be tight until, of course, the game, and then when it's the game, then
they got a long time for that. Though. That's not till November.
So if I was Nico, like whatever happens this year, because who knows what's gonna happen. If, more forbid, the same thing has happened the last 2 years, I would get outside because he ain't gonna see no targets.
He might not, but listen, if he does that, your boy Stroud will be doing the Houston Texans a disservice. You got to find a way to get this kid the ball.
Yes,
I feel like Nico is sort of a playmaker.
Yeah.
And you know what the quarterback situation has been in Houston. He's now under D'Amico and his squad, and they got a crazy defense, and I expect the offense to be just that much better this year.
Yeah. He is really looking for great things from Nico. I really like this kid, and I'm rooting for him. And I think having a quarterback like CJ and the things that he can do and the things that his coordinators have come out and said that they're looking forward to. They're looking forward to Nico just growing and continuing to develop into this really good wide receiver. So wishing good things for Nico this year.
Wishing good things for Nico. Is Houston Texans going to be that AFC team that we're going to kind of cater to because of our love and affinity for D'Amico Ryans? I'm just curious because everybody you have your NFC, like your team, and then you always pick a AFC team. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I wonder if that some people it's the Jets, some people might be the Texans, especially 49er fans. It depends. It depends. All right, who's number 3? Are we on number 3 or number 4? Number 3.
Number 3. Okay, so at number 3 we have running back Rachaad White from Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Rachaad White. Peachy. I feel like I can't wait to draft again. I skip over him every single time.
Everybody does.
I don't. You know why? I don't like Tampa Bay running backs. That's why. I never have.
I know, right?
And I did like Leonard Fournette, but then they started acting funky because of this kid. All right. I think he went to Arizona State, if I'm not mistaken. No, he went to Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He previously played college at Nebraska. Kearney transferred to Arizona State. I know. Okay, I had to make sure I remember seeing the Sun Devils on this. He went to Brandon Ayuk School. How about that? He was a rookie last year. 129 attempts, 481 yards, 3.7 yards, only a touchdown. But why? Why is he a sleeper for you, Peachy? I'm curious to know.
The reason why that you and a lot of other people are overlooking him is because of how you said, because people don't trust Tampa Bay's running backs. But let me tell you something about Rachaad White this year.
You just gave me Fire Marshal Bill vibes when you said, let me tell you something.
Let me show you something. People, Rachaad White, the quarterback.
Yes.
Baker Mayfield.
Hey man, he better be handing that damn ball off.
That is why people need to stop sleeping on Rachaad White, because he's gonna have the ball a lot.
I hope so.
So yes,
because it would turn them into more of a traditional offense.
Yes.
You look at Tampa Bay last year, man. They really were leaning on Tom Brady with no offensive line, too. By the way, like remember, all their offensive linemen got hurt. Now they have a lineman that's going to be out for the season. He has to have stem cell surgery.
Yep.
And so I think it's Ryan Jensen, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
So man, like it's gonna be interesting to watch. I just can't draft the Tampa Bay running back unless their name is Leonard Fournette and he's no longer there.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, Leonard Fournette doesn't have a job.
He's still out there. Also Ryan Jensen, they believe that it's career ending.
Oh no!
Because he was supposed to have done it last year, and he played through it.
Damn.
And so they think it's probably going to be career ending for him.
Health over wealth. Health over
prayers
wealth.
to him, and make the right decision for you, and that will be great. Tampa Bay has also lost others on there. They have the worst. Like, I thought the 49ers had the worst, time with health when it comes to like certain important positions. But Tampa Bay and that O-line, man,
yeah. Last year was you watched their offensive line drop like flies week after week, and it was season-ending injuries too.
Yes, yeah.
And that's when I realized Tom Brady was like, man, hold on. He was like, I'm out here. I'm never coming back, man. I got my one Super Bowl, Bill Belichick, without your ass. I'm good.
Right. Exactly. Now he's just chilling in the silver and black over in Vegas.
He's part owner, right?
Yes. And the funniest picture had to be that video clip where Jimmy Garoppolo and the rest of the quarterbacks come through, and Tom Brady is like telling them like what to do, and Jimmy's like rolling his eyes because he's probably like, I can't believe
I'm back in the same situation I started in. Good old Jimmy under Josh McDaniels, right?
Yes, exactly.
Too funny. Only person missing is Bill.
Right. That's all.
Bill, you might as well drop the Raiders and go on over to Vegas, dog.
That's insane. But the way that he looked, Brady's just all clean, and he's got on the black, button-down shirt.
He about his business
silver
right now.
Slacks.
That is funny.
Oh man, it's so hilarious. Okay, so
all right, I think we're on number 2.
We're on 2. Okay, so that's right. Oh, here it is. So number 2 is Antonio Gibson from the Washington Commanders.
Antonio, my man, not Booby, but Antonio Gibson. All right, now he dealt with an injury last year. Then he had to split his reps and time with their rookie running back, who was also injured at the start. So remember, he got shot, Brian Robinson.
Yes, that's right.
And he came back and had a good season. Now, listen, I do want to talk about Antonio Gibson a little bit before Peachy tells you why.
Sure.
It's a sleeper, 149 attempts last year, 546 yards on the ground, average 3.7 yards per carry, 3 tutties. He also had 46 receiving yards, excuse me. Look, this dude is a pass-catching nightmare out of the backfield. If you're in a PPR league, don't look over Antonio Gibson. But here's the thing. He is late Both Washington running backs, Peachy,
I know.
they're overlooked this year.
Which is why I put him as one of my top sleepers, because in like all the leagues that I've seen, like, man, he is way down there. And I'm like, I think people are forgetting about how talented, and like you just said, how he catches, like, so PPR, like his PPR goal. So if once you have your running backs in your league and you see him, scoop him up.
Scoop him up.
Scoop him up.
But here's the thing:
because he'll be good.
don't rush though, Peach. Look, like he's going to. Well, they're watching the show, but like like he's going to be available. Like
Yes.
I would get the other talent, but Peachy is
yeah.
saying that he's a sleeper. So
Right.
if he's there staring you in your eye and you're on your running back 3, you're running back
Right.
4.
Yeah, get your
there,
players first, but
shit.
scoop him up, because I'll tell you what, Gibson and with their quarterback Sam Howell, he will be giving it to him a lot. Gibson will be getting it a lot. So definitely, yeah.
Maybe they are.
It's possible.
Mike. It's possible. But listen, if you can't throw a check down, you have to leave the league.
Well, all of Washington, the new ownership, because there's more than one, plus the coaches, they all love Sam Howell. Like,
okay.
A lot.
So where are you drafting Sam? Where are you telling people to draft Sam Howell?
Oh, no, I'm not talking about that.
Oh, look. If you
I'm talking about his ability to get Gibson
listen,
and his receivers.
I just want to be clear. If you are a one quarterback manager, that's your thing. You rock with one and then you pick up one off the waiver wire. That's fine.
Right.
Sam Howell might be one of those available options. Derek Carr, Kenny Pickett, he
Yes.
might be one of those available options you want to pick up during that bye week. You'll have to let
Yes.
go of a player. But look, I'm just saying these are some options. All right, Peachy, number 1, and I don't even know why he's a sleeper. It's his time, but he's still
Right.
not in, I would say, the top 3 tiers of running backs.
Nope, he's not.
Yeah.
So my number 1 sleeper that I have is James Cook
There
from
it
the
is.
Buffalo Bills.
Whoop, there it is. Whoop, there it is. James Cook, the little brother of Dalvin Cook.
Yes.
He went to the University of Georgia. Drafted by the Buffalo Bills, 89 attempts his rookie year, 507 yards. I think the Bills realized we got us a running back here.
Yes.
It's time to utilize him.
Yes. And
2 touchdowns.
Apparently they are trying to save Josh Allen from himself, which they do this every year.
Because he always runs the ball.
Not right. They're trying to save him from himself to turn James Cook into that running back. Because my question has always been, when they had like Singletary and you have these running backs that are right there on your roster, but you're not utilizing them. And it really makes me mad when a team has a good stable of running backs and they don't know what to do with them. So apparently now they know what to do with them. James Cook is looking pretty good. He is getting overlooked. I have been able to get James Cook in about 2 of mine, and it was way towards the end. So it is, for some reason, he's being overlooked. I know that there's a lot of good running backs available, but if you can make room on your bench for one, when you're getting down to the nitty gritty of like a kicker and, stuff like that, and James Cook is available, grab him.
I'm not going to argue with you. I mean, look, he's there, and he's just kind of like staring you in the face because on the, as far as the TDP, the value, like he's just not valued high. But we're telling you, he's going to be running back 1 in Buffalo, and he is going to be a person you want to pick up because PPR league, pass catching, this is guy's going to get you extra points catching the ball out of the backfield. I think he's going to lead the Buffalo Bills in rushing. That's still to be seen, because you're not out rushing Josh Allen. Like he's for some reason he just has to get 1,000 yards rushing. It's just who he is. Just has to, right?
Right.
But I think you're right, man. I definitely love that. Now, we asked you at the very beginning of the show, if you're just tuning in, make sure you guys hit that like button. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe. And feel free if you want to become a member of the Breezy Bunch crew and enjoy some of the really cool perks. Go ahead and do so. All right. Now, we did ask you guys to give us some players that may not have been on our list, and we have a bunch of them. Now, let's start with the real RMP with Deshaun Watson, another quarterback, PG, that I just overlook. Is the Deshaun Watson hype train over, or is he a sleeper and he still has something to offer the NFL?
I think that not only is he a sleeper, but I have listened to a lot of conversations in people's drafts. They want to take him, but they can't get past the personal stuff. And it's just putting him on the team. It's just disgusting and all this stuff. Or people that are like, I'm rooting for his downfall. I'm not putting him on my team and that. So if Watson didn't have the personal stuff that he had going on, I'll just leave it like that, he definitely would not be a sleeper. He would definitely be one of the top quarterbacks. I really do think that what he went through last year in Cleveland, not playing the whole year, ramping it up, he just, he was out
look like he
for
was,
a long time and didn't,
he didn't look mentally ready.
Right.
Yeah.
But now with a whole off season and, everything like that, he's in the middle. But like I said, I seriously had a lot of people who were drafting and they see him and they're like, I just can't and this and that. But as far as fantasy goes, and we're just talking about fantasy football, Deshaun Watson is right underneath like that top tier.
Whoa.
To me.
Really?
Because the way that he plays, if he's back to the old Deshaun like he was before,
that's a big if though.
Right.
It's a big if. Like it's like everybody's an if, but you're right. The one thing he's done is he's proven that he was a top tier, but he's no longer top tier.
Oh, no.
You got your top 5 quarterbacks, and then there's a weight. It's like a little bit of a weight.
Yeah.
It's not a reach unless you, and that's funny, right? Because you want to know who we're going to put out our top 5 fantasy quarterbacks.
Right.
Peachy, give me the number 1 fantasy quarterback. We'll do this right now live on the show before we put out any graphics.
The number 1 fantasy quarterback, Pat
McHolmes. Number 2, Josh Allen. Number 3, PG, go.
Number 3 is gotta be, man.
Fantasy. Think fantasy.
I know, that's what I'm thinking of. And why am I like drawing a blank?
I feel like that third quarterback is like, believe it or not, like Lamar Jackson. Like I feel like he's still.
Jalen Hurts.
Jalen Hurts would be 3.
Yes.
Number 4, Lamar Jackson.
Yes.
Number 5, who you putting at 5? This is where it gets questionable.
I would put Joe Burrow at 5.
See, he's not going. He's not there.
I know he's not, but that's where I'd put him. I had someone who actually put Aaron Rodgers up in the top again.
Nah, Aaron Rodgers is old and you can get value out of him in the late rounds. But if we're telling people to draft, I feel like you can wait on Burrow because Burrow is in that tier with Justin Herbert, Trevor Lawrence, believe it or not. Like he's on that second wave of.
Herbert would actually be at the top of the next one because.
Right. Well, unless Burrow falls, like now Burrow is a top 5 quarterback in the NFL, but I'm talking about as far as fantasy. For some reason, he doesn't get the same hoopla. I have to get me one of those nice, comfortable chairs.
Is definitely up there.
Yeah, Herbert is going to get you yards. He's going to throw the ball 400 yards per game.
I've won with Herbert like a lot.
Possibly get you touchdowns.
Yes.
Now, so the reason why I asked that question is because now we're going to try to figure out where to put Watson. And so that's where it's interesting. Is he in that tier because Justin Fields is now
Yes.
As far as fantasy, because of his running ability, is Justin Fields that in that top five? Does he push?
That's so great.
Yeah, does he push Burrow to 6? You see what I'm saying?
So, according to this Fantasy Pros, which is
shout out to Fantasy Pros,
who we go to, and we would love for you guys to sponsor us, Fantasy Pros.
Fantasy Pros sponsor the What's Your Fantasy Show.
Mahomes is 1, Hurts is 2, Allen's 3. Lamar Jackson isn't, and then it starts tier 2. Lamar Jackson's 4, Burrow's 5, Fields is 6, Herbert 7, Lawrence is 8, Watson is 9th, followed by Dak Prescott for a 10.
Second tier. That's your third tier. Excuse me. So that's where it is. So yeah, like Peachy says, the real RMP says he's a sleeper. He's definitely a sleeper. Peachy explained, don't let what you saw last year fool you.
Right.
If you need a quarterback, you better go ahead and jump up and get that boy right there. 49ers Faithful Forever hits us with the one and only Brandon Ayuk. When I tell you he's not going into like the 6th or 7th round.
He's going so late. He could have literally made my sleeper list.
There are rookies, right, that are getting drafted higher than Brandon Ayuk. They're obviously second-year players. For some reason, they just I told y'all there are 2 49ers and possibly 3 that you were going to want to draft.
You did say that. Yep.
But as far as Ayuk being a sleeper, he's definitely a sleeper.
Absolutely. He definitely could have been on that list. No doubt. It's crazy to me that I've seen players that are hurt at the moment that have been drafted higher than Ayuk.
Yo, it is ridiculous. Yo, how does Michael Thomas go higher than Brandon Ayuk?
Right.
That's not a shot at Ohio State. It's a serious ass question.
But Michael Thomas, it seems like he's been away for like 2 years. But he's going higher than Ayuk, so it's really crazy. You know what, Mike King? That's absolutely right. Everyone sees Debo and looks over.
Oh, wait. If you draft Brandon Ayuk over Debo Samuel, please turn in your draft card and quit the fantasy league. We're talking fantasy football now. So now if you want to win, Debo is one of those 49ers that you draft, right? It's Christian McCaffrey. I'll tell him again.
Go ahead.
It's Christian McCaffrey, Debo Samuel, George Kittle, in that order. You don't draft all 3, but if you can get one of those, you're good. Now, if you need a flex wide receiver or a backup guy, right? Brandon Ayuk is available. You know he's going to produce. You know he's possibly going to get you 100 yards a game or whatnot. That's when you pick him up. All right? Oh, no, you got to read. He said, I got them both. Oh, boy. Whew. I can't start more than 149er. My anxiety would have me like on other types of drugs. Like literally, I can't, because you're worried about it even going to the one you got. Like imagine you got CMC and he don't get no touches.
Right.
Which is ridiculous, right? Exactly. But just imagine that. Listen, Niner Gang Toe, this is the funniest. I knew somebody watching was going to bring this up. He says that's because he was the 4th option last year. Now I'm making fun of it because he said he was the 4th option last year.
He said he was. Yes.
And he wasn't being funny. He was dead ass serious. He literally is the 4th option. Like it's unfortunate, but it's our team is stacked. He said, but honestly, any Niner player is 50-50 to do really good. I wouldn't say any. I mean, I feel like you're sure to get production out of Christian McCaffrey and Debo Samuel. I think because Debo only needs one screenplay.
Right.
That's it. Just one. Just one. He's going to get more than one, but he only needs one. So out of his 4 plays, one of them is going for 79 yards and possibly a touchdown. You got your points. There you go. Yep. Like, you know what I mean? That's how I look at it with Debo, man.
Absolutely.
Niner Gang Tay. You just gave Peachy and I an idea. I don't know if I can play underdog in the state of Connecticut. I don't know. But that would be dope if we did fantasy picks on the actual show every week.
Okay, we can do that. Yeah.
We got to figure out how to do it because we're in different states and, different states have different laws and bull crap, and I don't even think I can log in the Underdog. So we'll figure that out and do it every week, and then we'll do a live fantasy DraftKings. I don't know, but we'll figure it out. But thank you, Niner Gang Tay. And listen, man, join the Breezy Sponge Club, bro. It's $2.99. You got $2. Join the. I want your name highlighted when I pull your name up next
We
time.
want to see that pretty green.
Pretty green, you know, pretty green. All right, let's keep it going. We had a couple of more. I like some of these. Is this a real person? Jake Bobo is going to ball if given a chance. So let me look up who Jake Bobo is.
Jake Bobo is he plays for Seattle, and he's a wide receiver.
Ugh.
I know, but this fantasy show. So we're talking about that, and I don't. Only thing is, and Jigba will be back. They got DK.
Where does he fit?
And they have another one.
Don't they got Eskridge and they got
that's
Lockett?
right.
You didn't even mention Lockett.
Oh yeah, Lord, I didn't even mention Lockett.
Like where does he get in? 7 receptions, 125 yards, 2 TDs. So where does he get time?
Right.
Now listen, Jorge, if you're right, I'm gonna give you $1. I will cash app you $1 if he has an outstanding week just once this football season. If he has a fantasy football week, and I will cash app, Venmo, PayPal, or Zelle you $1. I promise. So make sure you keep tuning into the show. You're gonna get $1 from me. If all he has to, and that will go all season long. All season long.
Yeah.
All right. All season long. All right. Let's keep it going. TC12I says, who you cuffing? I ain't cuffing none of these dudes, man. I ain't cuffing no dude. But Mason or TDP, I take 0.49 at running backs until they become running back 1. That's just
Right,
me.
Exactly.
I didn't even touch Elijah Mitchell, PG.
I can't get, well, there's other reasons why I wouldn't touch Elijah Mitchell, but anyway, if you have to decide between the two, which is really scary, then I would go with Jordan Mason.
Really?
Yeah.
Because
I feel like that Mason's gonna be out there more. So
Mitchell is available.
That's also gonna give you more. I bet you he is available. He's probably available in a lot of leagues.
I don't know if Mason's gonna be out there more. I think Mason, when out there, may do more damage, but I think Kyle's gonna split them up. The way we saw them in preseason,
yeah,
I think that's the way he's gonna utilize them.
At the goal line, though, I would say Mason will probably get more touchdowns, right?
Not if he keep fucking fumbling. Now I'm getting mad. See, when we talking 49ers, that junk puts me on a whole different stratosphere of angry.
This Breezie changed it.
I wasn't even thinking. I was all nice. Yeah, welcome to the show, man. Make sure you guys tune in. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't even like, and in the moment we start talking Niners, oh man, the flashbacks, the trauma. What I was gonna say about JP Mason though is, I think when he's in the game, like when he's in there, he's definitely going to average 7 to 9 yards a carry. So every 10 yards is a point, but again, it's going to be limited. He's not going to be the bell cow to where he's going to get you 100 rushing yards. Now, Peachy is saying on the goal line, he'll probably be able to dial it in. I don't know. I ain't see it yet. He still got to prove it. Not a shot at him. I'm just saying. Listen, love JP Mason, love TDP, both of my guys. I just love all my running backs. That's pretty much what it is. But again, I ain't touching none of them running. I'm not the only 49er running back that will be on my roster if I have the second or third pick in the draft. It's Christian McCaffrey. After that, Doodles. Not gonna be me. Not gonna be me.
He literally had PTSD. It just popped up like right away.
That was crazy. I wasn't even thinking. Is it Kendre Miller? Is this the rookie that they drafted in the 3rd round? Is it Condre or Kendre New Orleans Saints. We were talking about Jamal Williams earlier. Ariel Kendre may be the starter, but I still think Jamal Williams is the guy that does the damage,
Right.
and gets the touchdowns. So he might be a sleeper.
Well, I probably should have put him on my sleeper thing too, because didn't have that great of a preseason like the Saints thought. So, he still needs some development and all that stuff, but that's all good. That's all good. He's going to be fine. He's going to be just fine.
I'm gonna let you take this one, because I'm tired of talking about Ohio State players on this show.
We barely even talked about Ohio State players on here.
You've mentioned at least 4.
I can't help it because they're Mike T.
Well, that's why his ass ain't played in the past 2 years. But anyway,
so
Michael Thomas.
The reason why that Mike T should be a sleeper is because all these should be sleepers. They're sleepers. It's because we haven't seen much out of him in forever, and he's back. Apparently, he's 100%. He's ready to go, and so out there, you're gonna have. The targets are going to be few and far and in between because you're going to have them covered. So even though Olave is probably more of who people are going to be worried about, you still got Mike T out there. So that's why I would definitely put him as a sleeper, because nobody really knows, like what he's going to be like, because it's been so long since he's been out there with the Saints. So we'll see.
I agree. Definitely could be one of the sleeper. Didn't make our top 10. But definitely could be a sleeper.
Absolutely.
I think the attention does go to Chris Olave now. I think he's secured the number 1 wide receiving role. But that allows Mike Thomas to get one-on-ones and line up in the slot. And he can do damage. And when they get Kamara back, it's going to be matchup city out there. So it's going to be a nightmare.
Ooh,
so
yes, it is.
They're going to be, look, the Saints, we forgot. You said the Saints were going to win the South. I say the Falcons are going to win the South. Sounds like we got a nice little friendly bet. It damn sure ain't going to be Carolina.
Right.
And I don't even know the other team at this point.
It's definitely.
I always forget one team in each division. You ever notice that?
Tampa Bay.
Enough said. Baker Mayfield. Dalton Kincaid from Michael Herr. Tight end, Buffalo, right?
And I like Dalton Kincaid too. I actually think that's a great sleeper.
Peachy, they drafted him and they forgot about my boy Dawson Knox. Like Dawson Knox was about to be the ish, and then they got Kincaid and they was like, "Hey Knox, man, you can knock on over." But they got dual threat tight end, so that's going to be interesting to see what Buffalo does. Another way of bringing 2 tight ends on the field. That means they can line up in 12 personnel, 22 personnel.
Exactly. And so Josh Allen is excited about this kid. He's really excited about his instincts. He said he has great instincts. So he is looking forward to this season with him. So
it's going to be a problem. It's going to be a problem. All I know is he's going to be a problem. All right? I'll leave it at that.
Exactly.
He's going to be a problem. First round draft pick. It's like you don't hear Dawson Knox's name anymore, but he's the bigger tight end, right? So he's the Gronk. And then Knox would be the other guy that we're not going to mention his name. Yes. All right. So we got some questions before we jump off here.
Okay.
And so Jedi says, should I release Higbee for Kincaid? And I would go with a yes.
Yes.
I don't think Higbee is going to get the volume that you want, but he will occasionally score every week. I think Kincaid being a big target for one of the better quarterbacks out there in the league, top 5 quarterback in the league, I would go with anybody that man is throwing to. Kincaid is going to be one of them. I would definitely drop Higbee if Kincaid is available. Next week, we're going to do our 10 rookies that you want to take a shot with on your team. So next week, you're going to make sure you're going to want to tune in, and then it'll be football week, and then we can actually talk about some real fantasy stats. So next week, we'll give you some draft strategies on how to start your starting lineup. If you have a team drafted on next week's episode, you can go ahead and put it out in the chat, and we'll go ahead and go through it. We'll review your team right here on the live show.
Yeah.
All right, and we'll do a quick preview on how that's gonna go, because our guy Jedi says this is my team: Mahomes and Rodgers. You got Mahomes and Rodgers, CMC and Brian Robinson and Dalvin Cook, and Stash Kamara. Woo! He took a flyer on Mostert. He has Debo. Wait a minute. He has Debo, Garrett Wilson, DK Metcalf, and George Pickens.
What is there? 2 people in this league?
They let you get all of them?
That's crazy. He must be playing with a bunch of kindergartners or something.
His tight ends are Kyle Pitts and Tyler Higbee, which I would drop for Dalton Kincaid. Also, if you wanted to go to another rookie, Luke Musgrave.
Yes.
But listen, we'll talk about rookies next week.
Yeah.
All right, we'll do rookies next week.
my
Philly
God.
D and some scrub kicker. You got McPherson from Cincinnati. He ain't no scrub. Evan McPherson?
This is, man, look.
Dude, if you lose this league, you can't be on the show.
Right.
Ever. Jedi. Bro.
That's a 10. Okay, let me ask you this. I have to ask you. So you're saying it is a 10 persons league. Okay, that's fine. But
Where did you draft?
10 what?
I think he drafted 7th, he said. He drafted 7th, and Mahomes. Here's my thing. I don't give a if you are a fantasy football owner and you see Mahomes staring you in the face, just draft. He's the best player in the league.
Yes.
Like, you gotta draft.
He's just
I would
always
draft
money.
him. Yeah.
Like he's always money. And
Yeah, like always.
if you can get Mahomes to Kelsey, that's whew. I tell you, I won
You
so
better
many leagues off of that.
Listen, if you can snatch up Kelsey first and you're picking toward the end, and then you can snake around, grab Mahomes, there's double points every freaking week. And their bye is not to like week 10 or some shit. So that's 10 weeks of double points. Easy.
Yeah.
Damn.
Definitely.
That's a league, yo. That's a team.
That is a great league. So that's good.
He said they gave him a B. It's because of you drafting the quarterback so early. What is it called?
They don't like that. The algorithm. They don't.
The algorithm.
They don't like.
Yeah. The algorithm doesn't like when people draft quarterbacks. It's wide receivers, running backs, That's 4 rounds, right? And then you slip your quarterbacks in there.
Yes.
And if you don't believe me, try doing a draft and drafting like the kicker first. It will spit you up and you'll get an F.
Exactly.
You get the best kicker and win every week because you got freaking Justin Tucker. You'll get an F. All right. So it's something about the algorithm. Jesus Christ of the league. James Conner and Michael Thomas for Deebo Samuel. Thoughts? What are your thoughts on this trade?
Connor is the running back in Arizona.
He's going to be the bell freaking cow.
And he is going to have the ball so much too.
He's going to be the bell cow.
Yes. I don't know because.
Well, say what you think, because I think I know what you're about to say, and I really do agree with you.
So Connor and Michael Thomas. Michael Thomas, we don't even know what he's going to do yet.
But he could be a bonus.
And he could be, right.
And
Yeah,
I feel like
definitely.
James Conner, week in, week out, if he stays healthy, is going to get you points. Whereas Deebo's on a team with 5 other options.
You just don't, right. Yeah. Yeah,
I think I would keep James Conner and Michael Thomas.
I think I would too. Yep.
Yeah. That's kind of like what I would do. I would keep those 2, even though I'm not a homer. So I definitely understand Deebo Samuel. He's a weapon, so he's gonna net you points every week. But I think I would go with those short running back points. Is it? Oh, you know what I need? We should ask. Is it a PPR league?
Right.
If it's PPR, I'm trading. You get what I'm saying? Because I know Deebo's going to get more touches as far as catches.
Right.
So if it's PPR, I would do the trade. We got a couple of questions. I like this, PG.
Me too.
Finally.
I love
Finally.
it too.
There was one that I saw. Damn it. It's like something came in and it went away. All right, here we go. How you? How you? What movie was that? Rush Hour. What's your name? And he was like, you. And he was like, no, not you, me. Me, you. I don't know. You got to watch that clip from Rush Hour. That shit has me rolling every single time. All right. So, Jesus Christ said it's a PPR. Yeah, I would do the trade if it's PPR. He said I would be the one trading Thomas and Connor. Right.
Yeah.
I would
We got
do
that.
the trade because I think Debo will get more touches as far as pass catching. You get points for that, especially if it's full. You get 1 point. If it's half, you get a half a point. And then Debo will get you the yards. So I would make that trade if it's PPR. I'm sorry. Now we got that information. How you start Miles Sanders or Jamar Gibbs? Yeah. I don't even think Miles Sanders is playing week 1, PG.
Not sure. It's still up in the air, and even if it's not, they still have Chuba Hubbard. So for that, Jahmyr Gibbs would definitely be the way to go week 1. I would definitely start Jahmyr Gibbs.
I know people are gonna slap me in the face for saying this, but like, I really have him. I had him over Bijan Robinson as a running back.
But you're not the only one that did. There's a couple of people that I talked to that have also put him over.
Yeah, it's something about his game, his play. Like, you know what I mean? So yeah, that's what I would do. So I would start Gibbs. I'm starting Gibbs until he has a bye week.
Right. Jahmyr Gibbs is going to be really good this year.
I swear there was. Here it is. J-Tan. Would you rather take St. Brown or Garrett Wilson? Amara Brown? Amara St. Brown.
Yeah.
Woo! It took me a second to figure that one out. I don't know, man. Amon-Ra St. Brown finished last year as one of the top wide receivers in the league. Garrett Wilson is going to be a coming of age. He has a real quarterback throwing him the ball. This is a tough question. Do you take what you've seen and what was proven, or do you go with the flashy what could be?
I would take Garrett Wilson, not just because of who Garrett Wilson went to college, but because the Aaron Rodgers-Wilson connection, everybody's talking about it around the league, saying that it's the best, like, regardless whether he's covered or whatever. We know Aaron Rodgers has pinpoint accuracy, and we know that he can get that sucker in there, and that's what he's been doing. And when asked, they asked him, like, how their comfortability was, and he said that he has not felt comfortable like that since Adams. So Wilson is like his new Devontae Adams. So
that's tough for me.
In my opinion, I would take Wilson.
I think I'm gonna go the opposite way. I'm sorry, I don't agree with Peachy. It's something about Amon-Ra. I think he may be dealing with some type of a slight injury though. But the connection between Jared Goff looked like a top 5 quarterback last year.
Yes, he looks so different.
That's another sleeper quarterback that might be just chilling in round 35.
Yeah.
Maui's saying take Wilson with Rodgers. I'm going with J-Tan. I'm gonna go the opposite. I'm going Goff, Amon-Ra, St. freaking Brown. I passed him up in every league last year, and he torched me each week.
He was awesome last year. I expect the same thing out of him this year too. So
yeah,
absolutely. Right. I understand that.
So guys, I tell you. Oh, go ahead, PG.
I was just gonna add. Aaron has Wilson out there, but he also has a lot of his Green Bay people that he got the Jets to sign. Lazard's there, Cobb's there. I think there might be one more that's there. So it's possible that St. Brown may come out better than Wilson, but I just can't, like, with that, what I've seen, the way that they just connect and they kind of just already know each other and everything like that, just,
I ain't seen it in the real game that mattered.
Right, exactly.
I saw what Jared Goff went from an ass quarterback to a nice quarterback. Just think about that though. Like, now they got a running back. They got Jahmyr Gibbs now.
But think about why, though, because the same thing that we say about our team, the way we are with quarterbacks, is he was holding his hand. Whenever he let him just go out there and play loose and free, that's why Jared Goff looks like that.
Yeah, I agree. Yep. I agree. I'm not saying don't draft Garrett Wilson. It's not what I said. It's not what I'm saying.
No.
He's tier 2 wide receiver. He's over actually Amon-Ra St. Brown. But I just know what I watched on. If you watch football like we watch football, we literally watch football. We follow all 32 teams. If you play fantasy football, you're gonna have to do it. So, and it's cool. Listen, the easiest way to do it, make sure you have what's the thing that comes on? Red Zone. That's the make sure you have Red Zone. Subscribe to it. It will help you out. It will keep you updated. Now, they only give you the scoring plays, but that's what you want. You playing fantasy football now. And on some of the joints, they actually are synced to apps. So if you play on the NFL, we got people coming. We're not ending this show yet. I thought people was ready to go. Hold on. We got some. All right, let's bring this up. Itty bitty South City 650. Look up that area code, PG. What's the 650?
650 area code.
I don't know. South City is in the building. You did a what? You drafted. I can't do 14 teams, man.
San Francisco.
Oh, okay. I can't. But San Francisco's not South. Anyway, confusing. He picked 4th out of 14 teams in a half PPR league. So that means, guys, they get half a point per reception. So catches are worth half a point instead of a full point.
Okay.
All right. Quarterback Geno. Wide receiver Chase. Wait, Chase went 4? Whoa. I'm not from the Bay Area. I'm sorry. I'm from Connecticut. I don't mean no 203. Hey, Luda shouted me out in the song. He ain't shout out the 650. He shouted out the 203. My bad. I'm learning. Charge it to the game, baby.
Area Codes is one of the most awesome songs ever, though.
Rest in peace, Nate Dogg.
Yeah.
Peachy. Wait a minute. Peachy, are you looking at his wide receiver?
I'm looking at it.
Peachy, he got Chase and Devontae Smith.
Najee Harris.
And Cam Akers. I'm not sold on your running backs. Najee lets me down Najee and Kyle Pitts, fix yourselves. But he got, look, Peachy, he got your sleeper. Ferguson.
Yep. DJ Moore.
He got How, Sway?
But look at his bench, though. So
how,
he's got
Sway, how?
Jahan Dotson. He's got
how?
Elijah Moore. Hunter Renfrow. Brees Hall.
Kareem Hunt, when he gets signed, is another unsigned player.
Who's Dion? Who am I missing? I'm missing somebody. Dion from Houston? The running back from Houston?
That's Damian Pierce. Who's Dion?
I thought that might have been who it was.
No, that's Damian Pierce. But I don't know who Dion is. And Duce.
Who is Dion? Itty bitty South City.
Itty bitty South City. Don't get it twisted. We are faithful 49er fans. Like that's what we are.
Absolutely.
It's just that we're from all over. I've been repping Connecticut since the 80s.
Dion Jackson. Oh, another fantasy thing. Let me let you know the Colts are depleted at wide receiver.
Wait, they're depleted? Michael Pittman not playing?
No, it's not that. I think they have 2 healthy.
Just throw the ball to Michael Pittman all the damn time because that's who I drafted. Is he hurt?
No, Pittman's fine. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, then that's all that matters.
Fuck
everybody else, man. Long as you get the ball to Michael Pittman, then we golden. We Gucci. Ball glove blueprint, Deion Jackson. Yes, that's exactly who we were talking about. We got people watching on Facebook, PG. We're special tonight.
Love this.
I
appreciate this so much.
Yeah, because I don't think people realize like how much work and effort we put to behind the scenes, and then it doesn't matter if we have one person in here. We're gonna put on a performance, but it's always good to have the interaction. Maui says, guys, who are the sleeper backup running backs? Maui, you trying to start something, man? Look, Dalvin Cook is my number one. If you're talking about the old school running backs, I see you put Zeke in there. Zeke might be Zeke might be a
Zeke
problem.
has got something to prove because he
Yes.
did not like the fact that Dallas did not bring him
Yes. They moved on and traded for Trey Lance. He's definitely pissed. All right.
back. You always have to also pay attention to that. So not only do you have to pay attention to stats in fantasy and injuries, but you also have to pay attention to the player, because if it's a player who was on a team for a long time and they move to another team and they're disgruntled, a lot of times they have something to prove. Or you also need to pay attention to players that are in contract years, because they also have a lot to prove. So you also need to do that. And sort of that. And yes, I did see that Zeke had put on a little bit of weight.
He did, but Bill Belichick uses his running backs. Zeke can still
Right.
catch out of the backfield.
The
And
goal
see-
line.
Yeah, goal line. Maui, you said Algier from Atlanta, from the Falcons. He was a 1,000-yard running back last year, and they drafted Bijan Robinson.
Right.
Don't count him out. Please don't count him out. And a lot of people that no one is talking about is Jamal Williams. I don't know why, but didn't he lead league in touchdown? Like, this dude was a problem. He scored every time. He played for the Lions last year, guys. Look him up. I'm not lying. Matter of fact, y'all ain't gotta look him up. That's why y'all here. I'll look up for you. All right.
You just put a pun. You said
I
the
did?
Lions. And you said I'm not lying.
I did that.
You just
This mother freaker, Peachy, this mother freaker. Okay. Let me tell you about Jamal Williams, because I know he is no longer with the Detroit Lions. He then priced himself out of Detroit. Now he's in Nolans. 262 attempts. This dude ran for 1,066 yards, 17 touchdowns. 17 times 6 tells you how many points.
Yeah.
Y'all keep sleeping on this mug. Keep sleeping on him. Y'all keep sleeping on him. We got some people, Peachy, to put up here. I love this. I love this. Wait a minute. Wait. I seen somebody. Where did it go? Niner Gang Tay. Damian Pierce is a sleeper. He
Yes.
shouldn't be a sleeper. But again, he shouldn't be.
But there's so many, and that's why it's happening, because you're able to get a decent running back this year, like way later, and still get some good treasure than last year, where there's a lot of awesome running backs that you can still get late. So you can pop your flex, and you can get your flex really late when you do that.
And the thing
That's
is,
a great
you want,
observation.
right? And the thing is, you want your bench to be secure. Now, one thing that we haven't talked much about on the show, we have plenty of time to talk about it. We got one more question I want to get to, a couple of more
Okay.
thoughts. The waiver wire. So we'll spend a little time next week talking about the waiver wire, because you're going to need to know how to pay attention to the waiver wire. If you guys have been following the other shows that we do here on the channel, the Wayne Breezie Show, today we talked a little bit about guys clearing waivers. All right. So that's that waiver wire, man. Where did you finish your draft last? And that's the order you get to choose from the waiver wire, right? So like, it's kind of like how it is. All right, Ball Glove Blueprint says, who's going to finish best as the wide receiver in Baltimore? They got OBJ this year, older guy, but I love Zay Flowers. Who do you feel like is going to finish best? Let's pull up the Baltimore Ravens depth chart. All right, so I'll get that out there. Peachy, they have OBJ. What are your thoughts?
Whew, that Baltimore is going to be tricky, and I've actually stayed away from that, because that's going to be another one where I'm just not sure. Of course, we know OBJ is going to get a lot of targets, but they have Zay over there, and they're wanting to distribute the ball amongst everyone over there. And, so that everybody gets their fair share. So that is also going to be an interesting one in Baltimore.
Here's how, if I'm the Ravens, I line OBJ up in the slot, and I let the other wide receivers, I let the speed get him. They got Rashad Bateman and Zay Flowers. I put them guys on the as my ends. I put freaking OBJ in the slot. He wins in the slot. He beat us in the slot. And I don't think too many people can cover him in the slot. Now, he did get injured in the slot, but I mean, that was a couple of years ago. They also got Nelson Aguilar, Who's going to finish one, though? Is it going to be OBJ, Rashad Bateman, or Zay Flowers?
No, I'd still go with OBJ, especially when it comes to the red zone, because OBJ would actually like be in the, he's definitely going to be looking for them touchdowns because that's what he does.
All right. I'm going to go with Zay Flowers. I think the rookie steps up, stands in, does his thing. Thoughts on David Montgomery? Is he now with the Lions?
I believe so. I was trying to remember what team he was with.
All right, let's look it up real quick.
Let me see. David Montgomery.
David Montgomery, former Bears, now currently with the Lions. Damn, I'm good.
Very good.
All right. Last year, he finished with 801 yards, 5 touchdowns.
Not you.
Not a big touchdown guy. Kind of mid to me. Kind of mid. But what are your thoughts on Montgomery? It's Gibbs for me all day. So.
Right. It's just Gibbs, man. I mean, Montgomery's not. Yeah, he's not gonna be. I wouldn't, because I'd say Gibbs is just gonna have the share of everything when it comes to that. Like, they really like Gibbs. They just, I just don't see that happening.
All right. Well, I tell you what, next week, have your questions, have your lineups, have anything you want to ask us on the actual show. We'll do a lot less talking. We'll do a lot more interacting with you guys out there. I hope you guys are enjoying the show. Make sure you hit that like button. We truly appreciate it. Right here on the channel, like, comment, subscribe. And feel free, if you really love what you see, you want to support the channel, join the Breezie's Bunch Club. That's what it does. It helps us get new things, technology, keeps things from buffering, things like that. You know what I'm saying? We definitely want to make sure that our quality's the best out there in the market. Shout out to Peachy. Shout out to everyone out there. You guys are awesome. All right. And we'll see you guys next week. Same time, same place, man. You already know. Make sure y'all tune in. All right. Peace out. What's your fantasy? Hey, look, ruining dreams under pressure. Peachy be the one to bless ya, but don't test her. The queen reigns supreme, you know what I mean? Add the boy Breezie, Prince, like a king. When the two come together in any weather, they form a bond, stay tight in any measure. So it's my pleasure, the #1 team. Let the world know what's your fantasy.